Highly skilled and experienced hunter Aaron Gibbons was a key contributor to the welfare of his family. The 31-year-old was well known for his exceptional hunting skills. He was also a father figure. He was a generous man with a huge heart who loved to provide meat for the poor in his Inuit community of 2,500. The stripe accounted for 92% of the population in this frozen and harshly inhospitable landscape. This diversely skilled indigenous community is well known for its artists, hunters, stone carvers, sculptors, and singers. It also boasts some of the strongest people on the planet. These people can withstand winters of a minimum of minus 30 degrees Celsius. They also share the land with one of nature's most powerful predators, the greatest man has ever seen, the mighty polar bear. Few people have ever seen polar bears in their natural habitat. This is a good thing. These majestic animals live in the Arctic, which is once again one of the most hostile areas on our planet. It will not surprise most people that these majestic creatures also possess the physical attributes necessary to rule in such a place. This is also one of the main contributing factors to the increasing concerns of those who live here about polar bear encounters. They average a weight of between 770 and 1,500 pounds and a length of more than 9.8 feet. It's not surprising that polar bears are one of the most massive land carnivores. Despite their enormous size, polar bears can run up to 35 miles an hour. Not to mention their razor-sharp claws, large jagged molars, premolars, and jagged teeth that allow them to hunt and tear through thick fat and blubber with ease. Aaron took his children to Century Island via boat on July 3, 2018. This island is well known for its popularity as a fishing spot. It's also a great spot for beluga whale hunting for both humans and polar bears. The group was planning to harvest bird eggs, something only a few people do in other parts of the world. Northern Canada is one of the few countries that can do this, and it is due to its unpolluted wilderness. Aaron and his children have a quick breakfast before they set off on the 10-mile trip to Century Island. The group arrived on the island almost immediately. The children were around elementary school age. The children ran off the boat excitedly and began to do what their age does best. Aaron watches the children closely and then ties the boat to the dock. He joins his children at the shore. Aaron then explains to the children the rules and pitfalls of collecting wild eggs. They also discuss what to do in the event of any problems. For example, a parent might say to their bird children, "Get defensive," and the children were off. Their faces are brightening with joy and excitement, and they seem like they were embarking on an Easter egg hunt. Aaron loses himself in thought as his children hunt bird eggs. As he stares out into the distance, his heart skips a beat as he sees a large white mass slowly moving in the direction of the children. It is important to remember that polar bears are the only predators that view humans as prey. They have been known to stalk, kill, and consume humans when they are given the chance. It is extremely unlikely that you will survive a confrontation with polar bears in their natural habitat. Aaron realizes the danger and snaps out of his state of shock. He realizes that his children are experienced hunters, and he immediately reads the body language of the polar bear. It was pointing its backwards and its head was down. It was a telltale sign it was out on the hunt. Aaron's daughter was focusing on a nest of birds when the polar bear set his sights on her. The polar bear is unaware of the imminent danger. The polar bear is also visible to the children running from nest after nest. Aaron's sense of altruism and adrenaline have made things seem slow for now. Aaron calls out to the children to hurry towards the boat. He simultaneously sprints towards them in an attempt to get between the bear and them. It was at this point that he realized that his rifle had been left on the boat. The skilled outdoorsman is quick to think and picks up large rocks while he runs. He then starts throwing them at the bear in an attempt to distract it or maybe even scare it away. As a few of these baseball-sized rocks come in contact with the bear's side, the enormous bear stops abruptly and turns its attention to Aaron. Aaron was frightened when the bear approached him. He quickly calls his oldest daughter to get emergency help and shouts to him. Despite his attempts to fight the bear off with rocks, this particular polar bear refused to be stopped. Its meal. Aaron is left with no choice but to turn his back on the bear and sprint toward the boat in an effort to make it to the gun before it gets too late. But to his misfortune, it was obvious that he couldn't outrun the bear. In a matter of seconds, the faster polar bear caught up to Aaron and tackled him to the ground before viciously mauling his head. As the enormous polar bear begins to viciously throw their father on the hard, cold ground covered in large rocks, the children watch helplessly as it does so. The blunt force trauma, combined with the shock of the event, triggers an adrenaline rush and endorphins that surge through Aaron's body to try to soothe the pain of what was clearly a painful and excruciating experience. As their father went limp, the children watched in horror as the polar bear began to feed on their father's flesh. The 4 children were rescued by the authorities, who arrived on the scene in a matter of minutes. The bear was also shot and killed immediately after arriving at the scene. Aaron's half-eaten remains, which were then recovered and returned to his family. Aaron's importance to his community as a provider was obviously attributed to them. They weren't the only ones who were devastated by his passing. The elders of Aaron's community responded to the attack by noting that 60 years ago, they were able to sleep under the stars without having to worry about polar bears. But it appears that the times have changed. The increased number of sightings of polar bears in the community and the fact that these bears actively hunt humans and consider us prey has led to an increase in polar bear sightings. Community members have demanded that the Canadian government increase the number of polar bears allowed to be killed each year in each region. In 2018, there were over 300 sightings within close proximity of the community.